I remember the moment everything changed. One minute, I was in my body, and the next, I felt myself slipping away. It wasn't frightening, though. It was almost like falling asleep, but instead of darkness, there was a strange kind of lightness. I could feel my body becoming distant, as if it no longer belonged to me. There was no pain, only a quiet sense of drifting. As I floated, I realized I was seeing myself from above. My body lay still, but I felt alive, more alive than ever before. It was confusing at first. I tried to move, but it wasn't my hands or feet that moved. It was something deeper, something I couldn't quite explain. I had become weightless, as if made of air, and I understood that I was no longer bound to my physical form. Then, everything around me began to shift. The familiar world faded away, and I found myself entering a new place. It wasn't like anything I had ever seen before. Colors were brighter, and the air felt pure and light. There was a strange sense of peace, as if the very space around me was alive and welcoming. I stepped forward, or maybe I floated, drawn into this new world, unsure of where I was but feeling a deep calm in my soul. As I moved further into this new realm, I became aware of something incredible. It was as if I had two sets of eyes, one still able to see the world I had left behind and the other gazing into this new place. I could see the earth, distant and faint, like a memory slowly fading. Yet at the same time, I saw the brilliance of heaven unfolding before me. It was strange but beautiful, as if both worlds existed side by side, and I was caught in between. The landscape of paradise stretched out before me, more beautiful than anything I could ever imagine. The grass shimmered with a soft glow, and every leaf seemed alive with color. Rivers flowed like streams of light, their waters clear and pure. The sky wasn't just blue, it held shades I had never seen, almost as if it carried the warmth of a sunrise and the coolness of twilight all at once. The air felt alive, filling me with a sense of peace and joy. My senses were sharper than ever before. I could see every detail, from the veins on a leaf to the gentle ripple of water in the distance. Sounds reached me clearly, each note of birdsong crisp and perfect. Even the breeze carried whispers of something deeper, as if every part of this place had a voice. I felt more aware, more alive, than I ever had on earth. It was as if my soul had been freed, and I could now experience everything in its purest form. As I wandered through this wondrous place, I began to notice figures in the distance. They weren't strangers, they felt familiar, like old friends or family I hadn't seen in a long time. Their faces glowed with warmth and kindness, and their eyes shone with a light that made me feel instantly safe. When they saw me, they rushed to greet me, their arms open wide. I felt their embrace, soft and full of love, wrapping around me like a blanket of peace. Soon, laughter filled the air. The inhabitants of this place were full of joy, and it spilled over into everything they did. We played games that felt light and free, almost like floating on air. Every movement was smooth and graceful, and time seemed to vanish. There was no rush, no worries, just endless moments of fun and laughter. Even the light around us seemed to join in, sparkling and dancing with every step. Then, something unexpected happened. One of the kind souls approached me, their face glowing with gentle warmth. They spoke softly, though I felt their words more than I heard them. They told me I could stay if I wished, that this place could be my home. The offer was so tender, so inviting, that my heart swelled. For a moment, I felt the pull of this paradise, a place where joy never faded and love never dimmed. The invitation lingered in the air, soft and sweet, as I stood there, caught between two worlds. As I spent more time in this wondrous place, I began to sense something deeper. Everything around me felt pure, untouched by pain or sadness. The air itself carried a softness, as if it had never known a harsh word or a bitter thought. Each step I took felt light, like the ground welcomed me and carried me forward with gentle care. There was a newness to everything, not like something freshly made, but as if time had no power to wear things down. Every tree, every flower, every breeze felt eternal, yet always fresh and alive. Then, I noticed something even more profound. Beneath the stillness, I felt a quiet hum, a gentle vibration that seemed to pulse through the air. It wasn't loud, but it filled everything, like a heartbeat that connected all things. This vibration carried a sense of perfect harmony, as if the whole of heaven moved to a rhythm greater than any music I had ever known. I realized this was what kept everything so pure and beautiful, a master vibration, steady and sure, holding every part of this place in perfect balance. Above all, what struck me most was the happiness that filled the air. It wasn't the kind of happiness that comes and goes. It was deeper, woven into the very fabric of this place. It felt like love, peace, and joy all mixed together, flowing endlessly through every corner of paradise. Being there, I understood that this happiness wasn't just a feeling, it was the very essence of heaven itself. As I wandered through this place, I began to understand that everything in heaven moved according to a kind of invisible rhythm. It was as if the whole realm pulsed with a soft, steady vibration. I realized that souls, too, had their own vibrations. Some felt bright and warm, in perfect harmony with the light around them, while others felt quieter, still searching for alignment. It was clear that the closer a soul's vibration matched the rhythm of heaven, the more at peace it became. I also noticed a gentle sorting taking place, though it wasn't forced or harsh. Souls naturally gathered in different places, drawn to where they fit best. It was like each soul carried a unique song, and those whose songs resonated in harmony were drawn together. There was no judgment, only understanding. Each soul found its rightful place, guided by the very nature of who they were. What struck me most was the sense of personal responsibility. In this place, no one could hide behind excuses or blame others for who they had become. Each soul's growth was its own journey, shaped by the choices made along the way. There was a quiet understanding that spiritual growth wasn't something handed out, but something earned through love, forgiveness, and seeking what is good. Here, in the light of heaven, the truth of each soul shone clearly, and the path forward depended on embracing that truth and choosing to grow. As I stood in that place, a deep understanding settled in me about life on earth. It wasn't random or without meaning, there was a purpose and a pattern woven into everything. Each moment, each choice shaped the soul. Life wasn't just about surviving but about growing, learning, and becoming more aligned with love and goodness. Even the smallest actions carried weight, like threads in a grand tapestry, creating a design far bigger than what could be seen from earth. I realized that trials weren't punishments but lessons. The hardships, the pain, and the struggles were all part of a refining process. Just as fire purifies gold, life's challenges shaped the soul, making it stronger and wiser. It wasn't the suffering itself that mattered most, but how one responded to it. Each trial was an opportunity to grow in faith, patience, and compassion. Above all, the greatest lesson was the power of unselfish love. Love wasn't just a feeling but an action, a choice to put others before oneself. In heaven, love flowed like a current, binding everything together in harmony. On earth, unselfish love was the key to unlocking the deepest joy and purpose. It transformed both the giver and the receiver, creating ripples that reached far beyond what could be seen. Understanding this filled me with a quiet resolve to live with purpose, to embrace every trial as a teacher, and to let love guide my every step. Suddenly, the warmth and light faded, replaced by a cold that seemed to seep into my very soul. Darkness surrounded me, but it wasn't just the absence of light, it felt alive, heavy, and pressing in from every side. I could hear faint whispers, like distant cries carried on the wind, and a deep emptiness settled in my heart. This place wasn't filled with flames or screaming as I had once imagined. Instead, it was cold, silent, and filled with an overwhelming sense of loneliness. As I moved through this darkness, I sensed the presence of others, yet they felt distant, unreachable. Each soul seemed trapped in their own isolation, weighed down by unfulfilled desires. They chased after things they could never grasp, shadows of what they once longed for on earth. The hunger for what they had lost gnawed at them, but no matter how hard they reached, satisfaction never came. It was a place of endless craving without relief. Felt a pull, gentle at first, then stronger, tugging me away from the warmth and light of heaven. My heart resisted. How could I leave such peace, such beauty? Every part of me longed to stay. Yet something greater than my desire was at work. I sensed a purpose, a calling, but I didn't want to go. The thought of returning felt heavy, almost unbearable. Then came the re-entry, sudden and painful. It was like being pulled through a narrow tunnel, each moment dragging me further from the light. The warmth faded, the peace slipped away, and my body felt cold and heavy once more. My senses dulled, and the weight of earthly life settled on me again. The contrast was sharp, almost crushing. I gasped, feeling the sharp edge of pain, both physical and emotional. But as I opened my eyes, I understood. My return wasn't a mistake. I had been sent back for a reason. The things I had seen, the truths I had learned, weren't just for me. There was a mission, to share what I had witnessed, to live with a new purpose, and to help others understand the deeper meaning of life. Though my heart ached for what I had left behind, I knew that my journey on earth wasn't over. There was work to do, and I had been given a second chance to do it. Loving God genuinely means more than just words or routine actions. It's about giving Him our whole heart, seeking Him daily, and living in a way that reflects His love. True love for God shows in our obedience, in our kindness to others, and in our desire to grow closer to Him through prayer and His Word. When we love God genuinely, we don't just turn to Him when we need something. We walk with Him in every moment, trusting His plan even when we don't understand it. Our love becomes a light, inspiring others and drawing them closer to Him. God looks at the heart. He desires love that is sincere, not one that is forced or done out of obligation. As believers, we are called to love Him with all our heart, soul, and strength, letting that love shape our thoughts, actions, and relationships. Let your love for God be the foundation of your life, steady, unwavering, and true.